Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And the movie that I'm reviewing is currently in theaters. It is the 2024 film that is written and directed by Coralie Farja, The Substance. So, in The Substance, we have our main character of Elizabeth Sparkle, who is a fitness instructor that has had her own television series for many years now. She's getting to a point, though, where unfortunately not as many people are tuning in. So the network, of course, has decided to cancel her show and try to bring in someone new. Elizabeth is, of course, crushed by this, but an anonymous person ends up reaching out to her about a potential medical experiment that she can be a part of called the substance. So Elizabeth is willing to try anything and ends up getting her hands on the substance. And this is an activator that, once injected into her body, ends up causing a second person to emerge from her. Now, the being that emerges from Elizabeth has named herself Sue. And the rules of how this whole substance works is that each of them can live their lives for 7 days, and then they have to swap over to the other person, and then that person goes unconscious for those 7 days. Now, technically, they are kind of sharing lives and some memories, but there is definitely some distinction between the two of them. Now, Sue, of course, goes out to become the new Elizabeth Sparkles and does, in fact, get the job. So the rest of the film becomes a juggling act all about consequences. So I really enjoyed The Substance, and I feel like it's an amazing body horror movie. Both Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley did such a great job in this movie. Also, a quick shout out to Dennis Quaid. His character was so creepy and so unlikable, but that's the way it was supposed to be played, so I thought he did a very good job. Now, whether you're gay, straight, or bi, I have a feeling that no matter what, you're going to need a cold shower after the first half of this movie. There is quite a bit of nudity and it is very sexually charged. So much so that I actually had a thought at one point of worrying where my hand placement was while I was sitting there so that no one would think that I was doing anything in the theater. Now, don't worry though, because the second half of the movie is absolutely that cold shower because it is so bloody and so horribly grotesque. It's fantastic. So, probably one of my only real issues with this film was the fact that both Elizabeth and Sue somehow knew how to use all of the equipment for the substance when it looked like there was no actual directions. Also, I have no idea how Sue knew how to do amazing home renovations. So for me on my scale, I'm going to give the substance a 4 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. And if you get a chance, definitely go and see The Substance. And if there's any other movies that you'd like to see me do a review for, feel free to mention them in the comments.